Welcome, my achievement hunters and collectible gatherers. This is the final part of the Beat to Complete Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door series. Today we are going to finish up both the main game and extra content. For a quick recap, in the last episode we continued our search for the crystal stars in order to save the world. You know, business as usual. Over the course of the episode we saved a gloomy town from a curse by exorcising a ghost, got stranded on a remote island and duked it out with a pirate captain's ghost, and also solved numerous mysteries on a 3-day train ride, one involving a ghost. And you know, now that I actually mention it, Mario does seem to come across a lot of undead people. Like, this is a problem. Well, no time to waste. Let's get to saving the world now, shall we? As I'm heading back to the Thousand Year Door, I actually notice a gigantic chest just kind of chilling up on this ledge. So I bop it down and boom, the Ultra Hammer. Now, what exactly is the Ultra Hammer? Well, it's just a sledgehammer that smashes concrete. During the tutorial, Toadette actually even gets a little sad, as this will be her last time seeing us during this adventure. And honestly, I did not remember this interaction at all from the original, so it kinda hurt, all things considered. And yet, I march on. At the TTYD, my map expectedly shows the next star being on the moon. I mean, that's cool, but how do we get there? Professor Frankly helps us look into a way to reach the moon and asks us to come back later. In the meantime, I power up some party members, disband an underground dance group, and even fight a mini-boss I had missed the first time around. The really only notable thing about this Big Boo is that his theme sounds straight out of Origami King, and, well, that game had awesome music, so, you know. Anyways, it's time to finish this and head back. I head back to the professor, who has learned some new key information. The next stop we must travel to is Far Outpost, home to a cannon that shoots you anywhere, and in our case, the moon. With the Ultra Hammer, I can break into this blocked room and jump down the pipe, dropping me straight into Chapter 7. What the fuck? Mario shoots the moon. What kind of title is that? Shit, must be our brother Moon. Gotta deal with it now. Okay, gotta get back on track. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention that Far Outpost is essentially a Soviet Russia, and they don't want just anyone using their cannon. Bobbery tells the mayor that we need to use the cannon to reach the moon, and, though reluctantly, he gives us two names, Gold Bob and General White. The first Bob-omb I chose to look for was Gold Bob, who we had recently just survived an entire train ride with. This means I know exactly where to find him. In Poshley Heights, Gold Bob says we have to give him some hard, cold cash if we even want to think about having the deed to the cannon. And, well, most of my money thus far has come from the deaths of my enemies. As it isn't really clean money, I'm totally fine with parting with everything. Showing him I truly mean business, we obtain written permission to use the cannon. And almost like karma, the blood money is also returned. General White, on the other hand, is a little more tedious to find. To put it in simple terms,
let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Whew. General White, we gotta go to the moon. Wake up! Oh my god, heavy sleeper is an understatement, as I have to essentially crumple this man to make him conscious again. Upon waking up, General White is ecstatic to see us again, because guess what? He was looking for us the entire time, so this whole search was pointless. Haha! Regardless, we show the mayor the paper from Gold Bob and prepare to fire Big Bob, the cannon, to the moon. Oh man, I am so excited I just can't hold it in anymore. And at the climax of my anticipation, I am discharged to the moon. And as for my contributions to space exploration, well, you can be assured that I added another crater to the moon. Oh no. I think my party is gonzo. Obliterated. Scrapped. Yep, that seems to be how the game ends. Well, there you have it. This has been 100% Hunter, and... oh, wait, we're good! Whew, and lucky for us, paper also doesn't require oxygen to breathe. Actually, I don't think we require breathing at all. Hold up, am I even alive? Oh, look, a moon base. This building honestly has some weak security too. X-Nauts? More like X-Nauts. Yeah, run. Run like the little cowards you are. Inside the X-Naut fortress is an elevator, which requires a card key. And solving perhaps the most elaborate puzzle yet, we find one. Down a level and I happen upon a password-locked door, but I think I can crack it. Okay, and... damn it. I thought Grotus was a man of culture. Seems like we won't be seeing eye to eye after all. Heading to sub-level 2, I find a teleporter that leads straight to Rogueport. Well, at least now I have a means of returning to the planet below. I also happen upon a missing cog, diamond security key from another puzzle room, and the heart security key from Grotus's room. Inside the locker room are also a couple of convenient codes, one of which is the password to the door earlier. The cog can then be brought to this arcade room where we can power up a crane minigame. I then input the code we got in the locker room to open the locked room. Huh. You know, I feel like this has happened before. Hold up. Back up, back up. Is Broshi over here really mewing? Oh my god. Dude, it's almost 2025. Grow up. Beating the quiz rewards me with another elevator key that gives me access to sub-levels 3 and 4. On floor 3, another tile puzzle awaits, in which completing it nets me the spade security key. As for the 4th floor, I got jumped by a showering X-Knot, though he lived to regret it. And I also obtained the club security key here, the last of 4. Utilizing all the gathered keycards, I can enter the Fortress Factory. And at first look, this place is just a big obstacle course. We go down conveyor belts, jump across moving platforms and turning gears, and use the paper airplane mode to reach yet another keycard. But thank God this one's terminal is in the same room. Stepping into a large chamber, we are greeted by Big Man Lord Crump. According to the fiend sitting before me, the princess is in another moon base. And this was actually a trap to take my crystal stars. If that wasn't bad enough, he won't even reveal their master plan. Whatever happened to honor? Screw this guy, let's short circuit this oversized mech. Damn, Broshi, you got no chill. Though he wasn't wrong, as Lord Crump was as good as creased. My party and I quickly pushed this guy to his last resort, which... okay, this looks wrong on so many levels. What the hell do you mean by eat this? No! Vivian, stand strong! With the help of Bobbery, I put an end to this rampaging robot. Finally, Magnus has been grappled and there goes Crump. I retrieved the newest addition to our collection, the Crystal Star. Speaking of, I have now collected all 7 of them. The final battle is nearing and Peach is still nowhere to be seen. Speaking of which, the interlude actually skips Peach this time around and switches straight to Bowser. Still on his fruitless quest for stars, it looks as though his luck will finally turn around. Well, until Pennington enters and admits it's just a red herring. And with that, the 7 counterfeit stars have all been shattered under Bowser's heroic watch. A Paragoomba then alerts the dangerous duo that Mario has completed his own MacGuffin scavenger hunt and is heading straight for the 1,000-year door. I can't really see this ending well. Alrighty, that seems like an issue for future Mario, but for now, I gotta get off this moon. This is easier said than done as the power to the elevators seem to be down. I end up entering a room that was previously inaccessible and wouldn't you know it, tech is okay. Sorta. He informs us that Peach has been taken to the Palace of Shadow, and even says he'll divert his power to the teleporter to get us back to Rogueport. This act wouldn't be without consequence, as it would mean ceasing to exist for Tech's AI consciousness. However, the supercomputer doesn't seem to mind and makes one final request instead. Though, I'll just let the scene speak for itself. We were given one shot at escaping, so we will not be throwing it away. I power up the teleporter and safely make my return trip to Rogueport. The power then cuts out and the inevitable follows. Back in the sewers of Rogueport, I find a familiar face. The professor says that he saw Grotus and Peach enter the 1,000-year door already. Time is running short, but why do now what I can save for later, you know? So I power up some party members and complete some help board requests like this one. This chick is actually a huge Luigi fan, and probably the only one at that. Throwing my dignity aside, I don the green outfit and then another me pops up. Okay, can we just talk about how insane Mario actually is? Well, guess Mario just scarred his brother for life. Wahoo! And you want to know who really needs a hero right about now? It's not the princess, it's definitely not the world, it's my fans! That's right, baby! It's time for the Great Gonzalez to make a comeback. Jolene notifies me that all my records from the first time have been mysteriously deleted, meaning I have to reclaim the champion title from the bottom. All of the opponents are the exact same as last time, so I speed through the minor and major leagues no problem. And to really nail in just how strong I am now, beating Rockhawk again only awards me 4 measly XP points. But at least I got the champion's belt. Is there really no foe capable of giving me even a slight challenge? Oh yeah, I remember seeing Prince Mush in the exhibition match list. Let's just see if the first champion was really just all talk. Here's a quick rundown. Prince Mush has 2 primary stances he'll choose between. When he bounces, he can't be hammered, and when he strafes, he can't be jumped on. Simple enough. On top of this, he has quite the sum of HP and is unaffected by any sort of debuff, ailment, item, or explosive. Furthermore, he can increase his attack to do massive damage that, if you're not ready, will kill you. But it's okay, that's all within the realm of possibility. Now what isn't possible is damaging Prince Mush once his health drops below 50%. At this point, he becomes basically invincible until you superguard his attacks to get a brief opening to deal damage. Want to know another fun fact? I suck at superguarding! Still! So far this entire playthrough, I have been reliant on normal guard and strong attacks. So a boss requiring superguards was not on my bucket list going in. And if I remember correctly, superguard is like 2 or 3 frames, where if you miss that window, well haha, fuck you! And fuck me, that window did. Over and over. But after probably 12.5 game overs, the unimaginable happens. I superguard him with Bobbery, pound him with Broshi, and dethrone the previous champion with a piercing blow, followed by a stylish exit. Now that was a cathartic release. Like, damn. I went into that thinking it would be relatively easy, just cause, you know, the rest of the game is. But boy was I wrong. After the battle, he recognizes me as a worthy adversary and gifts me a belt matching his own. What a guy. In fact, I think beating Prince Mush was exactly the prep I needed before saving the world. Oh, wait. I should probably get back to doing that, huh? Becoming a wrestling champion, of course. Now that the preparations are over, I insert the final star, do a little twirl, and open the door. With the 1,000-year door now open, we head into the void behind and get sucked straight into Chapter 8. On the other end, I find myself in the Palace of Shadow, the area where this journey will finally come to a close. This place is a true testament to everything we've learned so far. There are souped up versions of enemies, deadly traps galore, and an empty room! False alarm, it's just a single skeleton. Not just a single skeleton! Defeating the Dark Bones gives me a key and we continue into a strange staircase room. There are many doors, but picking the wrong one has terrible consequences. That being, you have to start from the beginning. Spooky. Anyways, the goal is to just follow the lit torch, which leads you to a massive courtyard. Here I blow up the Chain Chomp statues and smack buttons in the background to reveal some boat spots, therefore making the tower accessible. But that looks a little too ominous, so let's just see what's on this door on the right first. What follows is a very, very long hallway. Eventually, I end up in a large space with another dragon. It looks strikingly similar to Hooktail from the first chapter, and for a good reason. Damn, bro, you didn't have to phrase it like that. Well, it is time to fell another dragon, I suppose. Gloomtail isn't that different from his sister, other than the fact he's bigger, faster, and stronger too. He's the second dragon that we had slew. His attacks were weak, yet mine were strong. You thought he'd win, but you were wrong. Oh my god, he's actually dead. Well, I'll just be taking this. Our only possible next stop is the menacing tower from earlier, so we go back. Inside, I use the Starstone from Gloomtail and power up the facility, giving us access to all the rooms inside. This is basically a collection of puzzle rooms. Just imagine Metroid Prime's Chozo artifact hunt, but in a single building rather than the whole map. After gathering the 8 tower keys, we're told a rather grim poem of old, along with gaining access to an area even deeper down. We are then stopped in our tracks on our way over by the Shadows, and Professor Frankly. Kidding, it's Dupless, back at it again. Alright, now I have a score to settle. Today, the 2 Shadows and Freak Sheet are released from their eternal fumbling. Beldam chooses some bold fighting words threatening my goon squad. Ugh. Hold up, ma'am. What kind of party do you think I run around with? You know what? I don't need an answer. These fools pull the same old tricks, just stronger. And ignoring the fact that I died way more than I'd like to admit, my party takes them down one by one. And I do believe it would be a fitting decision to let Vivian deal the final blow to this terrible trio.
Welcome, punch!
Down these stairs are just a lot more puzzles and enemies, nothing too interesting, so instead I'm gonna pad out this already long video with a montage. You know what, click off the video, I dare you. Are you really sure you want to miss out on this? Finally, Grotus is within arm's reach. The Robo-Brain tells us the hard, cold truth. We have been being used this entire time to gather all the crystal stars just for this moment. The actual fight with Grotus wasn't too bad. I mean, his main gimmick is that he gains a shield when 4 of these fellas exist at once. But with the combination of multi-hit items and my raw Italian strength, the X-Naut's leader falls soon enough. Grotus then resorts to using Peach as a hostage, which works at first as I'm smacked around continuously. At this point, I am just tired of saving princesses. I just want to see that treasure. Hey, time out, Grotus. Do you hear something? With that, Bowser makes his surprise entrance. 2 bosses for the price of 1. Still decently weak from the battle before, Bowser is definitely more of a challenge. He has his standard moves, but Cammy can also now strengthen him and utilize her own magic as well. Trading blows, I take out the hag and Bowser incapacitates Goombella. With all the distractions out of the way, I can finally focus on my one and only rival.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
Though rival or not, I am the victor. And now we can get to rescuing Peach. Why did I think it would be that simple? Chasing after the rogue robot, I corner him in some sort of altar room. Huh. I think it's fair to say we're too late. Things then proceed to get dark, and the 1,000-year demon is revived. The sky is covered in shadow, and Peach becomes a vessel for the Shadow Queen, who then possesses her. Oh yeah, and Grotus is incinerated for speaking out of turn. Serves him right. The Shadow Queen makes a proposal. We become a slave to her and also get to remain alive. And not incinerated.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Yeah, saving the world sounds like a good plan. Shadow Peach is nothing special and is susceptible to debuffs. My party members also helped mitigate a majority of her attack's damage. Upon seeing that my party's actually kinda goated, the Shadow Queen decides to get serious and turns invincible. And this presents a problem. How do you kill something that's impervious to all manners of harm? Well, the answer is definitely not standing there and cheering for the middle-aged plumber. That got the entire crowd sent to hell. The Wicked Witch gives us another chance to submit, but Bobry's undying loyalty to his past lover gives me an idea. Why not just use the power of friendship? Duh, it's that obvious. With this sacred power, the crystal stars disperse across the various regions we had traversed over the course of this adventure. The Diamond Star in Petalburg, the Emerald Star in Bogley Woods, the Gold Star in Glitzville, the Ruby Star in Twilight Town, the Sapphire Star in Keelhaul Key, the Garnet Star in Poshley Heights, and the Crystal Star in Far Outpost. Did you take your medicine, you old coot? Wait, you're right. I hear the voices too. And you can't forget about Peach, who also wants in on this friendship bonding time by giving us the rest of her power. The time has come. The final showdown. The Shadow Queen is no longer invincible, meaning that my elite party can finally show off their true potential. And fittingly enough, everything is going right this battle for our mustachioed hero. Lucky dodges, winning the best reward on the spinner, stage hazards targeting her, and executing all the action commands perfectly. The tables have turned, and her attacks are now as futile as mine were a moment ago. Witness the legendary coup of the Shadow Queen. With that, the Shadow Queen is vanquished at last. Peach is unharmed and the other villains flee the scene. Knowing that the world is safe obviously calls for a much-needed thumbs up. Hell yeah. It's at this point that the real Professor Frankly also shows up a couple seconds later with the treasure in tow. This guy's the GOAT! Though, for now, let's all just head home. The next morning, it is time for Mario, Peach, and Toad's Worthless to depart for the Mushroom Kingdom. My partners in crime ask me not to forget them, but after the release of Sticker Star, I don't think we have to worry about that. And but a moment later, the boat arrives to finally pick up Mario and company. Well, all that's left to say is simply 2 words. Goodbye, Rogueport. The setting changes once more and we find ourselves at the Mario Bros. Residence. Here they're just chillaxing at home, presumably quite a while after the events of the game. That is, until we get an email from Goombella. Due to her studies, she travels between the various locations we had visited ourselves and even tells us what our friends have been up to. As for Goombella, she has likely gained one hell of a thesis proposal for her university. Koops has decided to live a quiet life in Petalburg, potentially becoming the next mayor there as well. Flurry has made a return to the big stage and has turned our grand journey into a play. And for whatever reason, Dupless is an actor in their troupe nowadays. My one and only brother from another mother, Broshi, has carried on the Glitz Pit legacy in my stead as the Great Gonzalez Jr. I'm proud of you, son. Vivian is attempting to repair her bond with her sisters, and now the 3 are together once again. And luckily, this time there is no abuse involved. As for Bobbery, you already know he's cruising around the 7 seas with Cortez and crew. I think it's safe to say Scarlet can rest easy knowing he's in good hands. And last, Miss Mouse continues her shop owner by day, badge thief by night lifestyle going. And since the events of the 1,000-Year Door, the X-Nauts have also seemed to turn a new leaf. Or maybe it's just the fact that their leader has been reduced to only a head. Yeah, I think it might be that. Oh, also I guess Tech survived, but let's just pretend that didn't happen because that's stupid! Well, that's about everything Goombella has to catch us up on. She adds that there is one more thing weighing on her, but then decides it is probably better kept a secret. There is then a knock at the door, and lo and behold, it is Peach, who has brought us yet another treasure map. Trust, bro, this one is definitely not a trap. But that's a story for another day. Furthermore, we aren't quite done here. We still have the 1,000-Year Door's hardest challenge to conquer, and this time I don't mean that sarcastically. My boat docks at Rogueport, where I reunite with my friends. They're all here and accounted for, so we're off. The first thing we want to do back in the rundown town is getting the last few entries for my recipe log. Upon recording the final food entry, I get mail saying good job, along with a cooking trophy. Nice. I've also heard that an old friend of mine is currently in Poshley Heights. Heading over there, I'd find a couple of familiar boos who are currently on vacation. Lady Bo and Bootler are both from the original Paper Mario for those who haven't played it. Alright, with the quick cameo session over with, we're now heading to the Pit of 100 Trials. Actually, we're prepping first. Here's a quick 100% fun fact. I had never actually beaten the pit when I played the original back on the GameCube, and I think I died after floor 90-ish. Safe to say, this gave me PTSD and I never tried it again. But times have changed, and I'm now the best Paper Mario player to ever exist within my bloodline. In order to not embarrass myself in such a high position, I gamble time and time again. These tokens can be traded for goodies, and what I have my eyes on are the Power Rush badges. These make it so you deal 2 more damage when on 5 HP or below. And yes, they actually do stack. And the next problem is my HP. Well, what if I want to be always below 5 HP, so I'm always doing that extra damage? Well, this guy, Chet Rippo, can swap your stats around. So I trade all my HP ups for more badge points, of course. Okie dokie, I think I'm ready for the pit. Hello everyone. I want to formally apologize. I definitely overdid the preparations, and now instead of the pit of 100 trials, it's the slog of 100 battles. I mean, okay, I could just take off the badges and fight fairly, but I'm pretty sure the sunk cost fallacy of obtaining them would hurt me more here than just doing the pit the normal way. Also, I know I called it the slog of 100 battles, but that name is kinda wrong. While it is most definitely gonna be a slog, there isn't 100 battles, luckily. The pit contains 100 total floors broken down into a boss floor, 9 rest floors, and 90 normal enemy battle floors. Furthermore, there are these little mover guys that can skip up to 5 floors if you hand over some coins, which we have plenty of, though they do kind of appear randomly. Okay, enough stalling, let's get into the pit.
Ready? Go! Complete! 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 Complete!
Whew, alright, 99 floors down and only 1 to go. As for what beast lies in the darkness ahead, it's the eldest sister of Hooktail and Gloomtail. This is Bonetail, though honestly I'm no naming expert, but I think her name should have been Skeletail, as in like a skeleton tail, but it also sounds like the word skeletal.
Come on, who's with me, huh?
I digress. We got some bones to break. The most obvious threat here is that Bonetail has a little more than 20 HP, so no one-shotting the dragon, unfortunately. Worse yet, having only 5 HP myself means that any attack will put me on the brink of death. Essentially, this is a battle of who kills who the fastest. I relied on Goomba's Rallywink to give Mario an extra turn each cycle, allowing me to get around 40 damage before it was Bonetail's turn. All I had to do is survive 2 attacks. Boom, and boom! The wicked dragon is slain. Clearing the final floor awards me with the return postage badge, the last entry needed for our badge log. And just like earlier with the recipe log, we get some mail containing the badge trophy. 1 more to go. Well, Hunter, what's the last trophy for? I hear you asking, my dear friend. Well, remember the beginning of the game when I talked about Goombella's coolest ability, Tattle? Wait, but if I just cleared the hardest challenge, what other enemy could there possibly be? Yeah, the remake decided to add another super boss aside from Prince Mush. And as for where to find it, we must complete the Pit of 100 Trials a second time. I love video games. For gits and shiggles, I purchase a lot from the stores on the surface. The final reward, it requires buying 300 items. Finally, I've reached the maximum shop points. Feels good. What? Do it all over again? Man, what the fun time to go back to the pit. There is now a shortcut at the beginning that allows me to skip the first 50 floors, which is honestly super helpful. Now I just gotta get back to floor 100. Alrighty, we're back. Where's the secret boss at? Oh, of course! I just have to smack Wacka at the beach a total of 8 times, then wander around a bit until finally getting an obscure email. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, Wacka Bumps, check. Email, check. Now to do the pit for the final time. In the gloomy and damp space awaits quite a simple creature, the Wacka. The poor guy is just trying to relax, but after making me redo the pit a 3rd time, I don't really care about his feelings at all. Wacka doesn't have a lot of health, however his main gimmick is that each of your attacks generates more Wacka Bumps on the floor. These can be used to heal him or even just lob to deal massive damage. Sadly for him, however, I have a little weapon known as cannon fodder. Yes, yes, yes! Take the hits for your hero!
Well done, my disciple.
After only a few turns, the Wacka's been whacked, and I pick up the golden Wacka Bump as a proof of my efforts. Additionally, that creature was the last entry needed for my Tattle log, so you already know this results in yet another accolade, the Tattle Trophy. But that's not all. This remake has another surprise in store for completionists such as myself. For obtaining all recipe, badge, and Tattle entries, I am sent one final email. It tells me to head to Central Rogueport for a gift. Right under the rope in the center lies the gold medal badge, which turns Mario into a true hero. Finally having the hearts of gold he was missing the entire journey. And with that, maybe now he can finally understand that Luigi is not just some side character, but rather his brother. Psych! Luigi's a loser! Well, this wraps up Beat to Complete Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door. This remake was definitely one of my more anticipated ones, as I had never truly 100%ed it when I played the original. And I'm proud to say that it did the original an outstanding service and might be exactly what Paper Mario needed going forward. Though, we'll talk about that more in the complete critique. But what is my achievement appraisal for our paper hero? Well, here are the stats for the game. Over the course of our journey, we gathered the 7 crystal stars, recorded all 134 Tattle entries, found all 87 badges, cooked all 58 recipes, obtained all 42 shine sprites, collected all 100 star pieces, completed all 30 Trouble Center requests, took back my title as champion in the Glitz Pit, cleared the pit of 100 trials, and of course, defeated a 1,000-year-old demon, therefore saving the world we know it in the process. Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door receives the final appraisal rating of 90%. Seek it out. The remake is completely faithful and is just as good, if not even a tiny little bit better than I was expecting. The collectibles are not a chore to gather, though some of the challenges such as the Pit of 100 Trials might make you want to quit if you're not prepared. Plus, the game was engaging from beginning to end, so there aren't really any complaints about time invested into it. Anyways, up next is the complete critique, so stay tuned. This has been 100% Hunter, and as always, I hope you follow your instincts and continue the hunt. Until next time, friends.